Welcome so much to my YouTube channel, Programmers Room channel. Subscribe, like, comment, hit the notification icon so that you may be receiving all the videos that we are uploading. So today we are going to look on how to rename columns in your dataset. We are using Pandas library and the Jupyter Notebook as our IDE environment for coding Python language. So let us open. Here is my Jupyter. For you to open a new Jupyter Notebook, just click on new and then Python. I'll give you some time to open a new Jupyter Notebook. There you go. So let's name the notebook as naming columns. Nice. So the other time we were looking on how to import files into Jupyter using Pandas library. I hope you've not still forgotten that. So importing data. First, let us import Pandas library. Let's import. As PD. Now we want to import our data. Dataset. We create a variable data frame. So PD dot So pd.read CSV. This is the input that is used to read all CSV files in Python. So let us enter Control Shift. We want to execute data frame. Here you go. So it has really executed all the data set. Our data set is having 36 rows. And it's having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So we want to name the unnamed column. We want to give it a name. So, and that is our target tonight, to really understand how to name columns. So we want to just first execute or print the first 5 rows so that you can have a small sample to use. So is def.shape. Sorry. So the name of our variable is data frame. That is the short form of df. So is df dot head. This will give us for the first rows. This will give us the first 5 rows. So we want to rename unnamed. We want to give it a name, and we can see we have 1 2 3 4 5 under the column unnamed 0. We want to estimate and give it a name date, because this might be date on which the other columns are represented. So we are going to name it with a name date. We are going to replace unnamed 0 with the date. So for us to name, there is an inbuilt that is used to do that operation. So it's df dot rename in between the curly braces we have here. We'll write columns, because we want to rename columns, and open the curly braces. So in here we write two names. The first name is a name to which we want to replace, that is unnamed 0 for our case here, and then a full colon. Again we write a name that we want it to replace unnamed 0. So we had earlier suggested that we want to replace it with date. So when we try to print out, we'll significantly note that date has changed, unnamed 0 has changed to date. Maybe I can print just some few lines, some few rows. Let me the first two. I can say def head 2. So you can see here we have unnamed 0, but earlier remember we had named it date. So this means that whatever we have named, it's not permanent, and we have to do something for it to be permanently changed. So in our renaming code, let us just copy it. Just copy this, and we paste it. So we want to do some modification here. Oh, sorry, it didn't came. Let us just type, so it's df name. Here we said we are writing columns. In between here, the first thing, the first name is unnamed. Zero. Full colon, another string, date. So after that, comma, for us to make it permanent, so we have to include in place, then we use the boolean true. So when we print it, df, you can see now it is permanently changed. Even if we do some, let us do this head, maybe 1, to see whether it's still remaining there. So you can see at this point we have date. It hasn't changed as it changed for the other case here. So that's how you rename the columns. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial to this end. Remember to subscribe